Wow, what an afternoon of football. We've been watching this one in the company of Callum Wilson and Andros Townsend. And finally, guys, let's just breathe, because that game had a frantic finish that perhaps we weren't quite expecting.
Definitely, the second half was fizzling out, really. Real Madrid were keeping the ball, just controlling the game with a tempo. And then the last 5 minutes, just fireworks happened, and all of a sudden we nearly had an extra time.
Yeah, it felt like at the end Dortmund got a bit of a lease of life, sniffed something, and then it made it a bit interesting. It
did, because when Modric came on and Dani Ceballos came on, you think, OK, Madrid are going to control this game, they're going to pass the ball and look to frustrate Dortmund. But when the first goal came, wow, it just completely sent this game crazy and gave us an incredible ending. OK, let's try and bring you up to speed. If maybe you turned off on 80 minutes, this is what you missed in the final 10 minutes or so. So Real Madrid were winning this one by 2-0, but Maximilian Bayer pulled a goal back. Callum, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish, but the key for me was him coming on at half-time and making a difference, really. He was called upon from his manager to make a difference, and that's exactly what he did do, and he got himself on the score sheet. But take nothing away from the finish, it was an incredible finish against a world-class goalkeeper. You know what I like here is the fact that he takes a bad first touch, but he almost sort of uses that bobble to cut across the ball. Look, this one here, this angle, it's a bad first touch, but he uses that bounce to cut across the ball, which takes it away from Thibaut Courtois in the goal.
Yeah, this was in the 93rd minute, so we thought, hold on, we could be set for an interesting finish here, but Kylian Mbappe was on the pitch at that point. And Callum, what I liked about this goal is, when he scored it, you said that was kind of the harder thing to do in this situation. Yeah, obviously, fantastic movement from himself, and he's just waiting and lurking. The actual technique of the finish was fantastic. For me, I'm trying to head it as much as possible just to make sure it's a guaranteed goal, but that's why he's world-class player for Real Madrid and I'm not. Arda Güler sort of had a fantastic game as a number 6, but this is where he's at his best. Coming inside onto his left foot, it's a brilliant ball. He's inviting Mbappe to come on and hit that. It's a brilliant goal from Real Madrid. And I've got to say, the noise inside this stadium, every time Real Madrid scored, it was incredible. But the biggest cheers of the night, I think, were when he came on and then when he scored that goal as well. The Kylian Mbappe fan club very much inside the MetLife Stadium tonight. OK, so it looked like Real Madrid had some breathing space again. Then it went crazy once again with the penalty incident. Firstly, Andros, was this the correct decision? Yeah, I think it has to be, because the new rule that's come in over the last few years that if Howsons make a genuine attempt to take the ball, it's not a penalty. He gets the ball here, but it's this here. As he grabs him, he's not making an attempt to win the ball. Yes, he may have won it initially, but for me, it has to be a red card because of that secondary ball. Do you agree, Callum? I think, to be honest, it's probably a little bit of naivety there. He's actually won the ball, like Andros said, and he's made the challenges, which is an important thing. It's trickled nicely for the striker. Just maybe let him get a shot and trust your goalkeeper. But I think, to be honest, the referee has no doubts. And as we can see here, you know, he does exactly touch the ball. But if I'm a striker and I'm a centre forward, which I am, you're going down, aren't you? I'm screaming for it, because he knows he's got a chance of scoring, because he's had limited supply all game, and that was his opportunity then. It's a shame, isn't it? Because Dean Howson making his first appearances for Real Madrid out here. He'll be really disappointed that he won't be able to play midweek. Yeah, he's been so impressive since he moved from Bournemouth, and yeah, to miss a massive semi-final against PSG. It's going to be tough for him, and to be honest, Real Madrid are going to miss him because he's been very good at that back and playing forward. Fortunately, though, playing for Real Madrid, you get the feeling he'll probably get the opportunity to play in those calibre of games again, not too far away. Now, when the penalty was awarded straight away, you were like, I want to see if he can step up and take this, because he hasn't had a sniff all game, but he did. Yeah, exactly, and it was very clinical. I mean, no doubts about that at all. Top corner against a top-class goalkeeper, but he has had limited supply. He was isolated all game, but for me, you wait for them opportunities, and it's come along and he's took it, and you know, even though his team are lost, he's got himself on the score sheet. OK, so it's 3-2 at that point. Interesting once again, and Real Madrid did need their goalkeeper in the closing stages. Yeah, and we were right behind this one. For me, it's an absolutely world-class save from Thibaut Courtois. It's a little bit of a melee. It's a great strike. Is it Sabitzer? Just coming onto it here. Oh, it's a brilliant save down to his right. Look how strong this hand is. Most goalkeepers let that in, to be honest, in terms of the wingspan of him. Because he's so big, he's managed to get down, but also his arm has managed to save his team there, and there's no extra time, and Real Madrid see themselves through. OK, well, I'll tell you what, we actually got a goalkeeper in the commentary box tonight. I imagine, Rob Green, you enjoyed that save from Thibaut Courtois.
It was brilliant. It was worth coming all this way to New York for, and it was part one that epitomised what being a good goalkeeper is all about. And you look at how long in the game he's just stood and watched. Over 90 minutes, he's barely had a thing to do. The sign of a top quality keeper, and it was something that really from nowhere we just didn't see it coming, did we?
No. If you're Alonso, would you be concerned about how quickly things unravel there for his team towards the end of the game?
Absolutely. And you're looking, this is a club that is all about getting to the final stages of tournaments. They get to the Champions League final, they get to the Copa del Rey final, they get to the La Liga towards the closing stages. This is what they're about. It's not about getting there, it's about dealing with it and dealing with those moments. And they didn't. They, by hook or by crook, got their way through the game. But Alonso cannot let themselves, game after game, rely on Courtois, much like Ancelotti did, much like they have in the past. They have to find a different way.
Again today, the conditions are really hot. They have so many fit senior first-team players here. Could that be a factor too, going into the semi-finals in only, what, 4 or 5 days' time to get players fresh and fit? Is Mbappe going to be ready to start maybe in that semi-final, do you think?
Yeah, you're looking at the players who are on the pitch, the guys who do the hard yards. Fran Garcia puts so much effort and energy, and that's what he does. But to turn it around again in this heat is going to be huge ask. They're used to it in Spain. They're going to have to turn it around again here.
And Rob, for you, your final thoughts on that semi-final now, Real against Paris Saint-Germain. It is an absolute blockbuster.
It's what we came for. This is the one. We're looking at all the ups and downs of the tournament that we've had so far. You look in, soon as the bracket came about, those two could meet in the semi. We're in for a real belter.
That was breathless. What a finish to the game, Kelly.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? Thank you very much, guys. Rob makes a really interesting point there about the fact that obviously brilliant to see Courtois making those world-class saves. That's why he's the goalkeeper of Real Madrid. But do you agree that maybe they are over-relying on him at the moment? Every game, they're affording those chances to the opposition.
Yeah, 100%. And it surprised me because they were so dominant for large parts of that game. To just collapse in the last 10 minutes is un-Real Madrid-like. But Callum, you've been at major tournaments, I haven't, so you can speak better, but I feel like it's good that it's happened so they can get in the meeting room, go through what went wrong and sort of put the wrongs right against PSG.
Exactly that, and obviously the new manager, like we mentioned before the game, is coming in and stamping his authority. These are things that he will address and tactically sort the team out. I think towards the end, when they do concede, not going under, sometimes a little bit of experience in there, don't let that happen, whereas a young squad, you know, they start sinking deep and then all of a sudden they're inviting the pressure onto them, so then therefore more opportunities, they're closer to the goal and they're getting shots off. But take nothing away from Courtois' save, he has kept his team in it and he is the experienced one there at the back.
Plenty for Xabi Alonso to think of ahead of that huge semi-final with PSG. Will take place on Wednesday, exclusively live for you on the DAZN app. But let's now hear what the Real Madrid manager thinks. He's been speaking with Sarria Shiraz. As I said, plenty for him to think about.
Xabi, you are in the semi-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. A very dominant performance today and a dramatic last 5 minutes. How do you assess the performance?
Yeah, everything was going under control with the result, not conceding much, but the last 10 minutes kind of crazy when we didn't have, we have lost a little bit our shape, our intensity, and luckily nothing went through, but overall, good 80 minutes and last 10 minutes to improve.
Gonzalo Garcia, 5 games, 4 goals, 1 assist, the current top scorer. What do you assess his ceiling as? He seems unstoppable.
Well, he's doing a great work for the team. He's helping the team and he's right in the right position in the box. He's a proper number 9 and we are happy that he's doing that well.
You have PSG next. It's going to be a tactical battle between you and Luis Enrique. How excited are you to see where you're at against the best as well, being Real Madrid?
Yeah, it will be a great challenge for us to face PSG, but let's take positive from today and move on for the next one.
And lastly, it's been a difficult few days for Trent, but he came out, he gave a very solid performance, got an assist. How does this performance speak to his character and the character of the football world?
Yeah, he's just starting with a new club after a long time in Liverpool, and for sure the last few days, especially for him, were not that easy, and I'm happy that he enjoyed his game.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll reflect on that performance from Trent Alexander-Arnold very shortly, but let's take you back to that first half when it was all going so swimmingly for Real Madrid, and it looked like this was going to be plain sailing for him. Now, we spoke about Gonzalo Garcia pre-match, and we said he'd done everything right to keep his place, and he certainly showed that, scoring in the 10th minute.
Yeah, he did, and it wasn't just the goal, like Alonso was saying, it was the work rate and everything else that he brought for the team. But this here, we spoke about half-time, he's made a run, ended up offside, and then gets himself back on the blind side of the defender, and it's so difficult to mark that, and sometimes that run that took him offside and he didn't receive it actually helps him out in the long run.
I love the finish here where he just opens up his foot to put it in the far post as opposed to putting it back to the near post. As he opens his foot, he takes it away from the goalkeeper. Really was an expert finish.
Is that actually the harder finish, to open up your body like that?
Oh, 100%. If that's me and I'm in that situation, I'm going near post, and the keeper's probably got more chance to save it. So the fact that the last minute he's opened up his foot gave the keeper no chance.
Before we move on and look at the second goal, I just wanted to ask you about him. It feels like all the talk was about Mbappe, but actually, have Real Madrid got another star on their hands, do you think? Do we need to pay him a bit more credit?
I think so. I think we're not talking about him stepping in for one game and just turning up. He's done it game after game throughout the tournament. He is almost the top scorer in the tournament with an assist and things like that. So it's not just goals he's bringing work rate, he's helping on press, and he does deserve the respect now. And obviously Mbappe is a superstar. He's coming on the pitch and everyone's singing his name and chanting for him. But also they might have a star in the making. He's just got to make sure he keeps getting opportunities, and when he does, he takes them like he has. Yeah,
top goal scorer in the tournament as things stand. Okay, then it took just 10 minutes for Real Madrid to add their second goal, and it was their other Garcia, Andros.
Yeah, and this is the quality they have. We spoke about it at half-time. Trent's able to play the ball wide. There's a triangle here with Garcia, with Bellingham, and with Valverde, and Trent just makes a deeper run. Nobody sees him, nobody picks him up, puts it in a great ball, and it's Fran Garcia, who was causing all sorts of problems in that first half down the left-hand side, who was able to sneak inside Ryerson and put Real Madrid 2-0 up.
A lot of the time, wingers and fullbacks will just stay out wide and they won't actually make the box. There, he's ran across the defender, he's looked, not seen him, and then he's looked again, and it's too late. He's already got the ball in the back of the net.
I think Ryerson as well, Callum, he's probably thinking, okay, Vinny Jr.'s in the box, I don't need to think of anyone else coming behind me, and like you said, he makes a sort of blindside run and gets in.
Okay, we've just about got through all the goals and the drama, but still plenty more reaction to come here for you on the DAZN app after this short break.
Niko, Kovač, what a crazy game in the end. You scored late, then Real Madrid scored. You scored another penalty. What was going on there in the last minutes?
Yeah, so football is sometimes strange. I think in the first half we didn't play well. We've been too passive. We were only waiting. We've been not aggressive enough. Second half it was a little bit better, and at the end the final save was unbelievable, incredible. I saw the shot in the target, in the goal, but okay, this is a world-class goalkeeper and this is a big save.
What was the most difficult part today to play against Real Madrid?
Yeah, first of all, for sure the weather conditions, and you can't go high-end risk because they are so quick and so fast in the front line. But this was also then a little bit our issue. So if you're too deep and then you are too passive, this is not the best. So better is to be compact and aggressive or straight into face, and this is what we did not well in the first half. Okay, I think we lost the game in the first half, not in the second one.
Now you were in the quarterfinals. How do you reflect the tournament?
Yeah, and overall we achieved more than we expected. We played the quarterfinal against Real Madrid. It's not a problem to lose against Real Madrid. This is a world-class team. But okay, now we go into our holidays, 2 or 3 weeks, and then we start again the engines and try to perform in the Bundesliga.
Well deserved. Enjoy the holidays.
Thank you so much. All the best. Alles Gute.
Yeah, finding some positives there to take, but Callum, his early assessment in that interview of Dortmund's performance was they weren't aggressive enough. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think exactly what he said. The first half wasn't good enough. I think they probably showed Real Madrid too much respect, didn't impose themselves on the game enough. And then I think obviously second half they did come out fighting, but they left it a little too late. It was almost like the goal that they scored give them that sense of confidence, and all of a sudden the game's passing on by already.
I think good managers make changes. The great managers make changes beforehand. We spoke before the game about Xabi Alonso not waiting to half-time to make his change against Juventus. I think Niko Kovač made his change at half-time, and it was too late because Real Madrid were 2-0 up and cruising by that time.
Do you think he should have made them in the first half?
100%, because anyone could see that they were open down their right-hand side. Ryerson was playing high and wide. Schürrle did not want to be dragged out into wide areas, and Real Madrid exploited that. Fran Garcia, Vinny Jr., Bellingham, all these players were drifting into that slot, and Real Madrid were just finding them on the counter-attack, and Dortmund couldn't live with it.
Okay, well, let's now get some more reaction from the Real Madrid camp. It's been a really difficult week for Trent Alexander-Arnold following the passing of his former Liverpool teammate Diego JSA, but he put in a remarkable performance on the pitch, getting another assist. He's been speaking with Soraya Shiraz.
Trent, a fantastic performance, a real team grit performance, and you're through to the semi-finals. But some things are bigger than football, and it's been a very, very difficult week.
Yeah, of course. I think, first and foremost, I want to send my condolences, my love, my thoughts and prayers to the family of, a close friend of mine. To the family and friends. It's been very, very difficult for me personally, and also the ones that knew him. Not just teammates or friends or family, but the footballing world. Like you said, some things are bigger than the game, and it's, yeah, like I said, it has been difficult, but it's been very emotional, very heartwarming to see the footballing world unite and come together to show their love and support to him and his family, and obviously his brother as well. So although it's been difficult, it's also been, a nice showing out from everyone, all clubs, all people uniting and showing love and support for what must be, mind-blowingly hard time for the family. I've been in and around him and his brother, his family, his amazing wife, his parents, his amazing 3 children. So it's it's truly heartbreaking to wake up to news like that. Is something that you would never ever expect. And he was, like I said, a very close friend, someone who, lit up a room when he was in it. Shared the dressing room for 5 years, amazing memories on and off the pitch with him. And yeah, it goes without saying he will never be forgotten by anyone. And he will live long in all our memories for the amazing man and player he was.
As you said, the world coming together so beautifully for Diego and Andre has been great to see. All the matches today, PSG, Kylian, all of them celebrating and, really showing respect to him. But you came out today being personally affected by that and put on a beautiful vintage Trent performance. How was that for you, and do you feel like you're really getting into the flow of things here at the club now?
Yeah, of course. Okay, at the end of the day, I still had a job to do today. I had to go out there and try and perform for the team and try and help us win the game. No matter how difficult it was, no matter how difficult it is, I still have a job to do. So, as hard as it was, I got to try and push that to the back of my mind and focus on what was my job and my role today, and try to do that as best as I could. It was difficult. I'm not going to lie about that, but done it in honour of my close friend. That's what I'm sure he would have wanted me to do, and we would have had a laugh and a joke about the assist as well. So, yeah, that was in some way in memory of him. He was there with me today, I'm sure.
He was. Thank you so much. Take care. Congratulations.
Yeah, really beautiful words there from Trent Alexander-Arnold, paying tribute to his former Liverpool teammate Diego JSA. And as Soraya said there, this week has shown us everything is bigger than football when things like this happen. But for Trent to be able to go in and put that performance today says a lot about him.
Yeah, it was really good. You can see as the interview went on, sort of the mourning came back to him and the sadness came back to him. But for me, on a personal level, I think the best place for these players to be is on the pitch, because there's so much going on. You forget about your traumas, you forget about your woes, and it's before the game, it's the after the game that people like Trent, they need the support. But during the game, they go back to being a kid in the playground again.
One thing that stood out in all of the tributes to Diego JSA was what an intense competitor he was, how much he loved football, and what Trent said there, he did that for him. He would have loved that performance from Trent.
Exactly. I think, Trent showed great character, great maturity to actually put a performance in like that and also speak like that. And he sort of had a little smile towards the end of his interview there, probably because Jota would have been in those positions that he's cutting it back to in the position that he played. So, I mean, it's a traumatic and sad time, obviously, but yeah, I mean, like he said, he had a job to do. He's very professional today, and he's got the job done for his team.
Well said, guys. Yeah.